Imagine ruling the greatest empire on earth, and waking up to find your most trusted friend plotting against you. Would you strike back? Or offer mercy? This is the story of Marcus Aurelius, emperor, philosopher, and the last of the 5 good emperors, faced betrayal, and chose the path few would dare. The year was 175 AD. The Roman Empire stretched from the sands of Egypt to the wild forests of Germania. Land so vast, it took months for news to travel from one border to the other. And at its heart sat Marcus Aurelius, philosopher, warrior, emperor. A man whose throne was not a seat of luxury, but a burden of endless decisions. His life was not one of comfort, but of duty. Duty that weighed on his shoulders like the armor he wore into battle. For years, Marcus had fought wars, endured plagues, and faced the loss of many he loved. The cold winds of Germania, the burning heat of Parthia, the cries of the sick in Rome, these were his constant companions. Yet through it all, he held fast to his Stoic beliefs. That one should meet adversity with virtue, and power with humility. His writings in the quiet hours were reminders to himself as much as to the world. That we cannot control the storm, only the way we stand in it. But even the wisest ruler cannot see into every heart. Far away in the eastern provinces, Avidius Cassius, one of Marcus's most trusted generals, began to plot. A man celebrated for his victories, respected for his discipline, now whispered treason in the dark. Rumors spread like wildfire. The emperor was ill, perhaps near death, and Cassius declared himself the new ruler of Rome. In the markets, people exchanged uneasy glances. In the barracks, soldiers wondered which banner they would soon be ordered to follow. This was no mere rival. Cassius had fought beside Marcus. They had shared the dust of battlefields, the long nights of strategy, the quiet moments of victory. He had been a friend. To hear of his betrayal was to feel a dagger between the ribs. And yet, this dagger cut deeper than steel, it pierced the heart of trust itself. If you were Marcus Aurelius, what would you do now? Would you crush your enemy without hesitation? Or pause to weigh justice against mercy? News of the revolt reached Marcus in the dead of night. The air was heavy, and the palace corridors whispered with urgent footsteps. His advisors, faces drawn and voices tense, urged swift and brutal retribution. To make an example of Cassius, and any who followed him. In Rome, such betrayal was often answered with blood. But Marcus did not answer in anger. Instead, he withdrew to his private quarters, opened the worn leather cover of his journal, and began to write beneath the dim glow of an oil lamp. He reminded himself, the wrongdoer does wrong to himself. These were not empty words, they were a shield against hatred. The harm, Marcus reflected, is not in the act itself, but in the corruption of the soul that commits it. Anger, if answered with anger, poisons twice, first through the injury, then through the response. He breathed deeply, letting the truth settle. To act in hatred would be to become the very thing he opposed. With deliberate calm, Marcus led his army east. No rage-filled speeches stirred the soldiers. No cries for vengeance echoed through the ranks. Instead, he spoke quietly to his commanders of duty, of order, of Rome's unity. His purpose was not to destroy Cassius, but to restore peace to a fractured empire. Step after step, mile after mile, the emperor marched, steady as stone. Before Marcus arrived, Cassius was struck down by his own men. Word reached the emperor like a wave crashing in the distance, sudden, inevitable. Rome's customs demanded that the body of a traitor be displayed for all to see. A warning carved in flesh. But Marcus refused. Instead, he ordered the body given a quiet burial. And more than that, he took every letter naming co-conspirators, every document that could damn a man, and cast them into the flames. The list of those who betrayed him was gone forever. Marcus understood that mercy would make him appear weak to some, perhaps even foolish. But to him, strength was never about the destruction of enemies. True power, he knew, was the mastery of one's own impulses. And in that mastery, he had already won. In the quiet of his tent, Marcus wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." 2,000 years later, his choice still stands as a challenge to us all. When you are betrayed, will you rise above the wound and act from virtue, or will you let vengeance shape the person you become?